Welcome back to the Of Course show with your host, your boy Marco Martinez. Yes, I'm back. Yes, I'm actually uploading this on Monday. Hooray! First, man, I got fired from my job. That's fun because my attendance. That's fun. It's not my fucking fault. The car broke down. Legit, this is what happened. My little Altima, I call her Brittany, '08 Nissan Altima, been with me since I believe my senior year of high school. And I'm 22 now, by the way. And just I don't know, I was just driving one day, and then I trying to step on the gas, but it just wasn't going. And I was a little bit confused because I was like, what's going on? Like this is weird. And then I just kept driving and kept doing the same thing. I'm like, this is weird. What's going on? And then I thought, oh, well, maybe you just need some gas because I was running low on gas. So, okay, stop by the gas station, get some gas. Stop by the gas station. And then I was still doing it. And so then the next day I said, well, I know it is up for an oil change. So let me just stop by Walmart, do an oil change, and then continue on with my day. I did that. I went to Walmart, got the stuff, and did the oil change. And then it was working for a little bit. It worked better for just like maybe like a day. And I said, okay, perfect. That's what it was. It was just the oil change. Okay, cool. And then I kept doing it. And I'm like, well, this is weird now. And maybe I thought, well, I was pretty low on gas. And I was riding it close to E, a little bit too close. So maybe it was picking up a lot of dirt and debris and pushed it to the filter. Maybe that's why it just needs a filter change for the gas. But I'm like, well, I don't know. I explained everything to my dad, and then that's when he told me, okay, well, I'll stop by and check it out. Checked it out. Said he said it was not compressor, the transmission belt and whatnot. But he did say, like, well, if it's working fine just now, excuse me, like, if it's still working fine just now, give it a little bit more, if hopefully it should last for like 2 weeks where I can bring you the spare car. Literally the next day, the reverse wouldn't work. Literally, the reverse would not work. And I said, well, this is peachy. This is fun. What am I supposed to do now? And then the other thing happened. Driving forward was being weird again. I'm like, well, this is not good. Why is this being weird again? And then I was like, okay, well, it's just kind of like, okay, well, kind of was doing this, but it was starting to do it more intense, and it was doing it more frequently. So I just said, okay, well, let me I'm stopping by Walmart to give me an energy drink, and then let me just go head to the gym. And then when I put my bad, and when I put the car in reverse, it was not going. It just would not move. I'm like, well, that is not good. It would not move at all. And so then I put it in drive, and it went forward. I'm like, okay, at least it's going forward. But again, it was still being weird. And as I was driving, I had the window down, and I was like, okay, right now, we get some breeze, all the fun stuff. But I was hearing like a scratching noise, like a scratching noise. And I was like, well, I'd never heard of that before. And so then I was like, okay, I need to get to my apartment as fast as I can, because this car cannot break down on the road, on a busy road, by the way. Heading back to the apartment, literally, because there's 2 entrances to my apartment. One of them is, I'd say, pretty flat, but you have to go uphill And then when you make a right to turn into the apartment, it's flat from there. However, the other side, entering the apartment, you have to go uphill. And so then I was doing that. Right at that uphill, bam, would not move. It stayed still. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, well, it's done this before, so I just kept doing what my dad told me to do. Nothing. Would not move forward. I'm like, well, crap. This is fun. So I put it in park. I was trying to rethink, okay, what can I do? I mean, there's no one around. If I put this boy in neutral, it's going to go down. I could try to push it, but if it was flat, it'd be easy to just push it to a parking spot and get the ball rolling. However, it was not. It was uphill, so I had gravity and that weight of the car against me. So I was like, okay, what can I do? I put it in park, turned off the car, and said, okay, get a little time, put it in drive. Hopefully she pushes. I put it in park, I turned it off. Turn it back on, put it in drive, and it just still was not moving at all. I'm like, well, this is fun. No, it's not. And so I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what to do now. And so then I kept thinking, I'm like, well, first, what it would do is if I put it in drive, it felt like neutral. It just keep going down. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then I put it in park and then quickly put it to drive, and then it just stays still. So I said, okay, let me try something. I kept it in drive because it was still, and then I just got out of the car and pushed it, and it was going up just fine. I said, okay, this is a great sign. And because it made it much easier, and it kept going up, basically got over the uphill part, and then it started going down, and I just quickly got in the car, pressed on the brakes, and then kind of just guided the car into a parking spot, left it there. And then I was like, well, this is fun now, because the car that I hoped was going to last me a week or two didn't even last me a day after my dad left. Texted my dad, he called me and said, well, I'm going to try to find a way to deliver you the spare, but I don't have a cart buggy, so let me see what I can do. Called up around, looked around, and nothing. And so he's like, well, here. I'm like, well, first off, here's the problem. I don't have any way to transport the car. And so one of his things was I can bring the car, like I can drive the car over there and whatnot. But the problem is, I'd have to get a bus, go to Grand Island, and then I think from Grand Island I'd go to Ogallala or something like that, or to Kearney, and then Ogallala, and then he's like, from there on, there's no more buses that take me to home. So I might try to hitch a ride from Ogallala back home, and I did not want him to do that, because then my plan was, well, if you transport the car, I'll just transport him back. But that's putting already a lot of miles in that car. So I said, okay, no, I won't do that. Like, what's the next best thing that I can do? I said, I got it. Let me ask my girlfriend, hey, could you take my dad down there, or just take us down back to Minutair, transport him back, and then come back? But then I'm like, no, because I don't want to put miles on her car. So then my dad said, well, this is what we can do. We can meet halfway. I'll pick you up from there, head home, and then from home, you bring it back. I said, okay. I talked to my girlfriend. She agreed with it. We did that. Okay, went back home, and it was already like 10. I went home, passed out. And he was already gone because he went to work the next day. And then, got the keys, did everything that I needed to, and then went home. My girlfriend ate some El Chorritos, washed the car, filled up the car with gas, and left. But during that time, I had to call in because I worked the next day, but I was not going to get there by 4 o'clock Central Time. And because back home, back in Minutair, it's Mountain Time. Here, it's Central Time. So I said, well, what the fuck? I'm gonna have to call in. But well, because here's the thing, what Walmart does, they use a point system for attendance, and if you call in, it's 1 point. If you're late, for less than half of your shift, it's half a point. If you're late for more than half of your shift, it's a full point, because then they consider it you're off, like you called in. And then they have a thing. Obviously, everyone knows what PTO is, aka paid time off. But Walmart has a thing called protected paid time off, or PPTO. And what that is it's exactly like PTO. I know probably other places use different terms, but I know it just has PPTO, where if you're late, cause how it is you can clock in and clock if you can clock in and clock out 9 minutes early. But like clocking in, if you're after the 9 minutes, you can use PPTO to recover that, so you get paid for the time you missed, and your attendance doesn't get affected. So I said, okay, cool. But I did that, but I didn't have any PPTO because it occurs like regular PTO, but it just takes a little longer. And I didn't have enough for the whole day, because you have to have enough to cover for the full day. So I said, okay. And then that's when I said, okay, cool. Let me, as much as I don't want to, let me call in. Because also, if you go over 5, 1 or 2 things can happen: termination, or if they like you, they will remove some points and give you a second chance. However, this Walmart that I was at, they're much more different when it comes to attendance. So they're not as lenient as my old store. And so with this, I got terminated because of that, because of my attendance. Which is fun, which left me without a job. It's just fun. And to make it even worse, my RAL fees were due at the end of May. Couldn't pay them because I didn't have the money, and so technically I can't even do services right now because of that. It has to be paid. And then obviously my car broke down. Well, luckily I got a new car, but that's it. Did say to do an oil change, but he said not to replace the filter. He'll do that when he's back. But what I kind of want to do, I looked around. I just want to take it to a service place so they can do both the oil change and the oil filter change. So then that way they're good in that way. I may have to do the oil change to my girlfriend's car as well, because it's screaming at her that it needs an oil change, which is fun. Obviously that's that. And then I'm like, okay, cool. That's it's currently how my life is going right now. So unemployed. I mean, I've been applying to places, but I'm unemployed, and God, man, at least I have a car to move around right now. So that's fun. But I mean, hey, that's just how life goes. I mean, curveballs are going to be thrown at you, but it's up to you to just see how you react to them. And because if you react to them and do it right, it'll make you a better person. But if you don't, it can make you fall. You can fall pretty bad in a deep trap. It's not good. Ooh, and also, I mean, I was completely random, but my girlfriend and I think I saw the TikTok first. Yes. Yeah, I saw the TikTok first. And what the TikTok is about cookies. Okay, she was saying about how, because at her work, she has some like fun, like a bake sale type of thing that they were doing. And so I was like, all right, cool. Cool. And so she wanted to make cookies. No, not cookies, just like a regular dessert. Well, I think she was going to first do the cake. And I told her, I'm like, well, switch it up. What about some cookies? Because I remember seeing a TikTok about these cookies that looked really, really, really good. Maybe we can make that. And so she agreed to. We got the ingredients, came over, and we started making it. And let's just say these cookies are oh so damn good. Oh my God, are they good? Because obviously they take a bit. And so my girlfriend, she was tired because, like, I mean, she had to work at 7 in the morning. So she was tired. And so I said, all right, cool. I will take care of the baking and whatnot. And it said to bake for, I think, like 350 or 355 for about 12 to 13 minutes. But I put it at 15. And when they came out, they were still really raw. I'm like, I know they're not supposed to be like this. So then I popped them back in the oven for 10 more minutes. And I bumped it up just 5 degrees. Took them out, and oof, they look beautiful. Beautiful. I said, let me take one. Let me take one to try it. And so I did, and let's just say, were them cookies so damn good. But oh my God, were those cookies good. And luckily, I mean, we made enough for like some batches for her like the bake sale. But there's still a lot in the batch, so I'm like, I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna make these bad boys because these are good. And since obviously currently right now, I mean, my license is active with the state, but with the realtors, it's not. But man, I'm still with Coldwell right now, and they have a picnic that they're doing here on the 24th of June in Louisville State Recreational Park. And so I'm like, all right, perfect. We can either make these cookies or the tres leches cake, or both. Make just like a little small sheet cake of the tres leches cake, and then make the cookies on the side. Because then that way, just to be safe, it's not, it's not like, oh, I'm the only one that's eating the tres leches cake and no one else is. And obviously I don't want that because I don't want to eat all that cake for myself because that's not good. But then also I'm like, well, I mean, if everyone doesn't like it, we have a backup. We have something else. And so right now, I don't know what she said yet. I don't know if she's agreed with it yet. But I mean, it'd be nice because then, I mean, those cookies were really good. So then, some people are having the tres leches cake and some people are having the cookies. It's a win-win on both ends. So that's today's episode. It's actually a little longer than usual, which I guess can be good or bad. I do really appreciate the listeners that still currently are listening. Even though I don't really announce it anymore all over like Instagram and Facebook and all the fun stuff. I don't know. I just kind of got tired of just interviewing a lot of people because, I've just been getting busy. And so I don't really want to keep interviewing. As much as I loved it, I probably might do it in the future. But right now, I kind of like to just tell you what's going on with my life. Whether it be boring, whether it be interesting, I just get on the mic and just talk about what's going on with my life. And like I said, to me, this is fun because if I'm very stressed, bam, I can just go ahead and just say on the podcast of what's going on, what's going on with me. If I'm happy, I can say what's going on. If just I don't know, I mean, whatever I'm feeling, bam, you're going to hear on the podcast. So again, I really appreciate to my listeners that still listen. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.